Hey, if you're like me, you probably have a keychain that you consider part of your everyday carry. Now I've got a truck key, tractor key. I always carry a little pair of precision tweezers. I can't tell you how many times those have come in handy. Got my favorite Leatherman mini tool. And something I've been carrying for over a year is this very cool, pretty robust fire starter. And that is the subject of today's video. This is my keychain, and this is the fire starter that we're going to talk about today. This fire starter is the Nano XL from Exotac. We are going to start carrying on the AMP3 website the green and orange Nano XL, as well as the polySTRIKER from Exotac. Well, my keychain is basically one of these aircraft cable loops with a little turnbuckle that unscrews pretty easily. And let's take the nanoSTRIKER off and demonstrate how it works. This is the nanoSTRIKER XL in green, and it is a very nicely turned piece of aluminum. You can unscrew the base, which will expose the ferrocerium rod. This rod is replaceable. This is a really well designed and thought out piece of gear, and you can get replacement rods from the great folks at Exotac. You can see that this rod has been used, and I believe you should practice with all of your preparedness items. So I've used this a number of times and it works really well. The other thing I like is that they've put a rubber gasket on all the parts so the whole thing stays watertight. Now the top unscrews. This is where you attach to your key ring, and this is also where the tungsten scraper is. You'll notice that the scraper is H-shaped, and that gives you 4 sharp edges, and we'll demonstrate how to use that on the ferrocerium rod in a minute. Now the nice thing about this design is that the cover for the rod unscrews and then reverses and goes on the top to give you a nice sized handle. And then you're going to use the scraper to either scrape off some filings or to generate sparks. And I found that the best way to do this is to lay it flat and then tip it back just slightly so you're getting just the edge striking on the rod. There's a lot of things that you can use for tinder, and the internet is full of ideas. This is just one of the pre-manufactured pieces of tinder, and all I did was mushroom the end, so I've got some exposed fibers. So to start a fire with this, we've got the tinder with the end flared out. We've got the striker and the rod. So you just basically direct your sparks right onto the flared end of your tinder. All right, well that is the Nano XL from Exotac, and I think this is a great little piece of everyday carry kit. It has a replaceable ferrocerium rod and a built-in tungsten striker that can also be replaced. The whole thing is machined out of aluminum with O-ring gaskets. Fits very nicely on your keychain. Now, where do you get tinder? As you may know, the internet is full of information, advice, and tips on tinder. Everything from dryer lint to cotton balls. Those are nice to know about. I like these pre-made ones for my everyday use, and I like to know how to improvise when needed. That's where the cotton ball and lint come in, but I think this is pretty reliable. Now here's a little bonus. How do you carry this stuff around? If you're watching this video, you're probably like me, a big fan of the great guys at candleTIN. This is a small little container out of machined brass. Very nice. A little bit on the heavy side, but very, very durable. This is the same little capsule, but made out of machined Darolin, which is a very hard plastic. You can put 2 of these little bits of tinder, which should give you a fair amount of emergency fire starting capability, and they will cram inside the brass as well as the Darolin capsule. Now this one weighs hardly anything, and I think I'm going to add that today to my keyring, and it's not really too much to carry around, very easy to put in my briefcase. All right, there you have it, the Nano XL from Exotac, and we're going to start carrying these on the AMP3 website. This is a nice little bonus. This is the large 3-wick candleTIN from Exotac. You can light 1, 2, or 3 wicks if you want. It'll boil 8 ounces of water in 18 minutes. It's a nice source of heat or light in an emergency. Doesn't take up very much room and a great addition to your preparedness items. Let's take a look at that lit. This is a nice heavy machined brass match safe from the great guys at candleTIN. Has a fluid dampened little button compass at the end and a nice attachment point for a lanyard, and it's sealed with a O-ring, so it's totally watertight.